evening, people. This is FKC TV. Welcome to the channel. This is going to be my very first video on here on YouTube. And why YouTube? I think when you subscribe to other channels, you watch their content, you see the interactions, the banter. Uh, it's all good. It's all exciting. And honestly, some of these like YouTube videos, they keep you going through whatever issues other people have or whatever issues you got yourself. Um, so it's just almost like a natural thing for me to decide, you know what, I want to try this because I'm a passionate fan, right? But also being able to do something for yourself, something you want to do, and that's all that is here. But of course, we have to start on the wrong foot when it comes to Michael Olise going to Bayern Munich. Now, 2 days ago, David Ornstein dropped the whole news that Chelsea had pulled out of the Olise deal. And, for me, I was hoping it was one of the whole, Caicedo situations last year where um, Liverpool came, they put their money in, and come next day, we go in and we get the player, right? But I think this isn't one of those situations because he's already agreed to join Bayern Munich. I think they're going to trigger the release clause, and yeah, he's gone. He's gone. And the reality is, we're back to square one. Not necessarily, but this would have been a very good target that we could have gotten, and we did not get. So my reaction to that is, it's unfortunate. It would have been nice to be able to add that kind of quality to the team, but unfortunately, it's not meant to be. So we move. Now, today, I think there were a few stories that came out. I think Chelsea finally sold Ian Matson to Aston Villa. Uh, my reaction to that is, at times last year when we had Chilwell injured, Cucurella injured, um, and of course, Pochettino decided to play Ian Matson as a right winger. Um, not as a left back, as a right winger. Now, it's just, as a fan who's been following and, everything about Chelsea is in my, it's in my fiber, it's in my veins. I mean, it's everything, right? So it's very confusing when you have someone who came in and, I had expectations of him. I supported the guy. I I saw his work with Spurs. They challenged that season for the league. They went to the Champions League final, and his team were hard to beat. His team were hard to play against. He had, the Dele Allis, the Ericssons. He had the Nasser Chadlis. He had the Dembeles. Um, Alderweireld, Vertonghen. What's Victor Wanyama? I mean, his team was hard to play against. You know, so when he came into the club, I had expectations, and I hoped at least, minimum, we would have been in the top four. Just because the season prior, we didn't do so well. But starts preseason, and this is just to give my recap on the whole. What should they have been sacked? Should they have not been sacked? Uh, Preseason was good. We went into the season. We had a bunch of injuries, but that still should not have ended the way it did. I mean, we played some good football against the bigger teams. We were on it, against your Man City's home and aways, your Liverpool when we played at home, when we played against Arsenal at home. We almost won that game. Slapped up Spurs home and away. They can't really talk to us, but they still try anyway. But we had some good games, but it was against the lesser teams where it just looked and just seemed kind of just weird, because he just didn't look like he can make the right technical changes. I'm not a coach. I don't have no UEFA licensing, nothing. All right, I'm just a fan, just like you. And as fans, we tend to think that we know a lot, right? But you don't even have to. Some things are just really easy to just look at and realize like this was not good. It was awful. It was really awful. But we still managed to finish in sixth. Now, someone will say we're gonna finish a bit, higher than six, absolutely, because we threw some games that we really should have done. Honestly, when we played your Burnley was 20th in the league, 20th in the league. We played them and they had a 10. We had 10 against 11, and we still tied that game. And then the next game we went and drew to Sheffield. It was just certain games against Luton Town. You play two attacking players. What is this, man? Like even Antonio Conte, when he came to the club, yeah, we got slapped a few games, and he switched it up. Yeah, your Hazard, your Willian, your Pedro, and your Diego Costa, and that's someone who plays defensive football for a living, and he still gave these guys the keys to just express themselves. But you play against Luton Town, newly promoted Luton Town, and you play two attackers. Nah, that's not good enough. So, my opinion is, I believe the expectations he was given, he never met them. Uh, Expectations weren't met, and he had to go. Simple as that for me. Um, Now we have a new guy in Maresca. Know nothing about him, to be honest. Um, and I'm not going to say I know a lot about somebody when I don't. I wouldn't like to do that. But open minds, we have no choice at this point. Like I legit have no choice. He is the one, the team, the owners, the directors have decided he's the guy to move us forward. So he's the guy we're gonna rock with. Um, what are my expectations for him? Listen, it's too early to tell. We're gonna wait for preseason, see how everything goes, and then we know exactly how we're going to operate. Um, but the Olise news, like I said, it wasn't the best thing to hear. I was watching Matisse's channel when he was on live with Saeed, and once I heard Saeed screaming in the background, I already knew, yeah, Saeed wasn't right, and of course, it wasn't right. But we move. It is what it is. Now we had some rumors come out today, some news that Chelsea were looking at what's his name? Let me look it up really quickly. I think it's Jonathan David, and it says along the lines of, we've held talks with Jonathan David. We're trying to see if we could get him. And since he has, I think, like 12 months on his contract, he really can't. He really can't be that expensive, right? So my opinion on this is really simple, right? You look at the other options we've been linked to. Your Durans, um, the guy from Atletico Madrid, who, by the way, Atletico does not even play him. He doesn't even feature for their team. Or Maradon or something. I think that's his name. He does not play for the first team. And we've offered 50 mil, 40 mil, 30 mil, and they still don't want it. So for me personally, just walk away. Walk away from the deal. Don't even engage. You're looking at the likes of Victor Osimhen, um, Gyökeres, Ivan Toney. You have a few options, right? And for me personally, like if I was Chelsea, this is what I'll do. I'll go to Aston Villa and I'll ask him, how much is it going to cost me to sign Ollie Watkins? That's what I'll do. Because let's face it, we potentially might be able to offer Ollie Watkins more money than Villa does. Um, at the end of the day, this is Chelsea we're talking about, right? We've not been good the last 2 years for sure, but we're still one of the biggest clubs in the country and in the world. So you go to Ollie Watkins, you see what Villa wants. At the end of the day, right now, Villa they need to comply with, I think, PSR rules. Yeah, they might not want to sell you Oli Watkins, but you can sweeten the deal. Throw in an Armando Broja, throw in a Dutch Fofana, and give him like 50 mil. See where it gets you. Not going in for Duran and Omari Dunn and all these other guys. Like, yeah, we were six last year and we're trying to do better. We're trying to progress. We're trying to go up. And all these links have just been not it. Like, to be honest with you, all these links have not been it. So we need to, it's become a little bit sad as a Chelsea fan because the last 2 years have not been it, right? We unfortunately this is what happened. Sanctions happened. Somebody had to go. Somebody had to come in, pick up the pieces. They're 2 years into the ownership. They're going to make a lot of mistakes, yes. Um, but also on the flip side, they've been able to um, get some quality. It's not the quality that everybody would have thought, but at least we can make that happen. You know, it's like you look at your Cole Palmer, Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Malo Gusto, uh, Tosin, who just came into the club. You look at your Nicholas Jackson, uh, your Noni Madueke. This team, genuinely, this team with good coaching, um, just being able to like fulfill some potential, this team could be at least top five, right? Because we're not catching Man City anytime soon. We're not going to catch Arsenal anytime soon. We're not catching Liverpool anytime soon. Villa, you can catch Villa. You definitely can. They have a better coach. They have a better structure. They have a better system right now. But again, Villa's Villa's not going to be there for a while. Let's face it. They might just because every other person right now is not the best. Every other team is not performing as they have to and as they should. So Villa might be there, but if we just look at player for player, quality for quality, because I see it sometimes online when I tune into the spaces, and they just like say all these things about these players not being good, these players not being worth. Look, a lot of these players are now worth the price tag, point blank, period. But that's what the other club wants you to pay for them. The, Moises was not worth 100 and whatever. But guess what? The price went up because we kept dilly dallying. Liverpool came in, they upped the bid, and we have to go one further than Liverpool. We could have given them 80, 90 to start, right? So these guys are not worth the price tags. But I can guarantee you right now, Liverpool, if you give Liverpool fans the option to sign Caicedo and Enzo right now to play with McAllister, they're taking that. I would. Like at the end of the day, these guys are good quality players. They've not been able to. Moises when he came in, didn't really have a preseason with the team. He wasn't. He didn't look match fit. He was rusty. I mean, you just got paid for an incredibly large amount of money. You're like I think the most expensive British player. So it comes with pressure on its own. You went into the club, they gave you Zola's number 25. Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. Price tag, the history of the team. You have a lot of big shoes to fill, you know? So I wasn't surprised he took he took long to settle in. But once he really got his groove, we can see that he's a quality player. So a lot of these guys, people say ain't that good. Some of your teams will take them even to be on the bench. That's look. If you have My question will be this: you want your bench to be able to come in and fill in for your starters whenever they can, right? Because you have to save your starters sometimes for certain games. You will take the likes of Malo Gusto, even if it's on your bench. That's still a quality player you want in your team. You know what I mean? So this whole, just being able to say all these players ain't good, whatever, whatever. I mean, I understand the banter, yes, but last season just wasn't good. Levi Colwell. before he signed his new deal. Liverpool fans were twerking for this guy. Liverpool fans were saying they're going to get Levi Colwell. Somebody in his family was a long term Liverpool fan. Yada 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 yada. You guys wanted my guy, and you didn't get it because we signed him onto a new deal. When we signed Cole Palmer, people did not expect my guy to be like that. People said, "Why are you wasting 45 M's on Cole Palmer when you could have just bought Mohamed Kudus?" Now, for me personally, I would have gotten Kudus as well. Give me both. You can say this is the Chelsea way. Look, good teams always have good players. The best teams always have good options in every position. So this is not a Chelsea thing. If you're trying to be a better team, if you're trying to be a competitive team, if you're trying to be a big team, you have to have quality all around you. So give me Kudus, give me Palmer. But even when we signed Cole, a lot of people didn't think he was going to be good. We seen glimpses of him here and there, scoring some tidy goals for Man City. But again, he was a young kid. We signed him. He came in. Look at that. One of the best attackers in the league last year. And hopefully he can give us close, even close to that output. But my point is, some of these guys have not even really reached their potential. One of the funniest things I heard um, was that because I think Dawn said that Noni happens to be one of the best 1v1 wingers in the league. Now, someone pulled up the stats and they said, based on stats, he's number three. I don't think my man's was saying, like, yo, Noni's better than everyone. He's saying, yo, what he likes in his wingers, what he likes in certain players who play in certain positions. He wants you to be able to do this, and he wants you to be able to do that. He had, I think, 8 goals and like 3 assists, so like 10 GA in the league. But he was inconsistent in the team. He was injured. He would come in. He wouldn't play certain games. But as a winger who can take on a man, look, if that's one of your strongest attributes, no one can take that from you. You might not be the best player, but you can be able to do something that you're really good at. He's not a scrub. He's a good player. He's not exceptional. He's not world. He's not out of this world. But he'll do a job. He's effective. There were so many games last year where he would drive at a player and win a penalty kick or he would win a foul. When Chelsea were playing against Man United, the game we won 4-3. Noni won that penalty to bring the game to 3-3. Against Crystal Palace, same thing. Won the penalty to convert to get the winner. Like he's been clutch in certain moments. Against Leicester City. Classy, classy, classy goal. When we played against Aston Villa, when we won 3-1, I think at Villa Park, yo, he was on smoke. Like he scored some really good goals. When we played, I believe, Luton Town, scored a screaming goal. So I just don't understand why people just say, yo, he's straight. Like he's not that bad of a player. He's just a good player. He's not, you know, Cole Palmer levels. He's not, Olise. He's not Mohamed Salah. He's not Saka. None of these. He's not. Excuse me, guys. But he'll do a job. So it's just disingenuous when people try to just make him seem like he's just like a bang average because he's not a bang average player. He has qualities, like some really good qualities you can use. Um, so that's that. For me, when it comes to the Jonathan Davis deal, am I moved about it? Probably not, because we went from the likes of, you know, Victor, Oshiman, Yokoresh, Sesko, Ivan Tony, and we're down to Duran, this guy, and I think Omaridan from Atletico. The options are not that great, you know. But if I had to pick out of those three, I'll take this guy because clearly it's not looking like the higher ups are going to move a certain way in the transfer market. Now with Chelsea, we've also had a history where players that we bought for like big money just never paid us back on that investment. Prime example, Lukaku bought it for big money, came in, showed some level, had that interview, and everything went down, and that was it. So for us, I've realized lately that um, when we've gone with like not too expensive players, we've done really well with those. Malagusta was really cheap. Cole Palmer was considered expensive, but relatively right now, it's very cheap. You know, um, who else did we get in? Noni was like 30 something M's. Look, good. Like when he plays for the under 20s, I believe, quality player. You know, certain players just need a bit of time to make that step up, but he's a good option to have in your team. It's just it's just what it is. I mean, from the first season when he came into last season, his output was much better. You know, his discipline was much better. Tracking back, being selfless, taking people on, creating space for other people. I like to see guys take responsibility like that. What I didn't like was that whole penalty situation where, if this is the penalty taker, this is the penalty taker. But of course, whoever is the coach has to let these guys know, regardless of if you win it or not, this is who takes it and this is who's going to take it. Because Frank Lampard was not letting you take it unless he wanted you to. Not even if you're trying to get the golden boot. Like the golden boot, he did not care. Drogba wanted it. He said, no, I'm going to take this because I'm the penalty taker. So that was just one of those like moments where he showed his inexperience. And it's just like, just a slight, like, just immaturity level. But he came through a few times during the season, and I was happy with his performances. I think for us, we lack structure. There's a lot of things we could do better. But the transfer window is just open, maybe for a week now. There's going to be a lot of news coming out. There's going to be a lot of this. We're trying to buy this. We're trying to buy this. It's just we're going to see. I've again, like I said, I tune into these channels. I hear a lot of people say things, um, and sometimes I don't agree with it. Other times I think they're bang on. But to to kind of panic right now will be not the best idea. Only because before, let's just say before the sporting directors came in, Todd Bowley was the guy who was going around signing players. So we signed a lot of these guys who, didn't come out well. But since the directors have come in, most of their signings, at least 90%, have been bang on the money. And we can't even dispute that. They've gotten it right more times than not. So I'm gonna trust that, they could keep, trying to put us where we need to be. I know it's hard. We can't really see it right now, but listen, fingers crossed, it's going to be a much better season. And let's just wait. The Euros are happening right now. There might be a few, gems coming out of this competition. But again, would it be like the World Cup, like Enzo? People say he had the World Cup hype on him. But I think when he came, especially his first half season with us, he was one of our best players, if not the best. This guy was, when we lost, I think 4-1 at Old Trafford, this guy was the best player on the field. Even as the losing team, he just kept us going. He just kept dominating that midfield. Last year, he had a hernia. You don't want to hear it. No problem. We'll see how he does this season. If it's not, the player we thought he was, then that's another dud. And we'll just have to take the L on that. But I like to give him the benefit of the doubt as well. Um, but again, it's just my team keep making these weird deals. Like, why would you spend 20 mil on Omari Kellerman? Now, again, I think it's a more of like a, okay, I help you now, you help me, I help you later, you help me situation. Um, because we sold Munson for 37.5, I believe. That's money on the books straight away. Now they sell Kellerman, that's money on their books straight away. So both teams win, but getting some quality, like enough of these young kids. Like if you're trying if you're trying to be in the top four competing for the league, Kellerman ain't gonna be the guy to take you up there. You need quality players. You need good players to like just to help the team move forward. We have enough of these kids, enough. Estaval, Pius, now Kellerman, Carney. Half the team are young kids. Enough. Just get us, a few experienced, quality old heads and just see what you can do, But I think I'll leave it here for today. Like I said in the early parts of the video, this is our very first video on the channel, and then I hope to see your engagement on it. I hope you guys enjoy it, like, subscribe, share the video, hop in the comments, let me know what you think, and I'm gonna try to make some of these uploads, consistently because I still work a lot, so that this is something we're doing because it's a hobby. We enjoy talking about sports and just engaging in it. But I'm still gonna put in the work, and hopefully we have a good time. Just hop in, subscribe, comment, whatever you guys want to do. I intend on doing like a live stream one of these days, and I just got to figure out all my edits, my thumbnails, all that good stuff that goes into this because this is all brand new. But hopefully, this can be built into something enjoyable. It's just let's just have fun with it. But thank you guys. Subscribe, like the video, share it, whatever. Catch you guys in another one. Peace.